Hello to all our viewers this afternoon. Welcome to our webinar. It is Sun, Sun, Sea and Separation, because it's a time of year when we're all thinking about holidays, and that can be difficult and can be tricky when you are separated or divorced. So our chat today is hopefully going to help people who perhaps have worries or anxieties around their children going off on holiday with a separated or divorced partner. So we're hoping to help you with that today. So my name's Jessica Roy. I am from Jessica Roy Coaching. I'm a divorce and breakup coach from North Yorkshire, and today I'm talking to Rebecca. Hello, Rebecca.
Hi there, Jessica. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Tell us about yourself, Rebecca.
My name's Rebecca Bell and I'm a divorce and breakup coach. Was a former solicitor for 21 years, specialising in family and collaborative law. And Jess and I are going to help you today with some tips about how to manage holidays when you're separated.
Absolutely. So, right, starting from the beginning then, Rebecca, we were having a bit of a chat beforehand, and we suddenly went, oh, passports, where to start with passports?
Get it sorted early, Jessica. That's the best thing. Passports can be an issue, as you probably know. So my suggestion to you is to have that conversation with your ex as soon as possible. There's usually one person who keeps the passports and the other party who's going on holiday obviously needs them. Don't be having a last minute discussion about this. Make sure that you've handed the passport over in good time, and also for when the children or child comes back, that you have the passport handed back to you. It's just better to sort these things out so there's no last minute stresses over something like that. So it can be an issue, so just make sure that that's sorted out. You've had that conversation in good time.
Yeah, we're all going to be checking those dates on the passports now, aren't we? Especially with the current queues that we're hearing about. So yeah, absolutely. So if you're taking away your children, it's brilliant to check passports. But for some of us, and actually for me, it's my very first year for many years that my children are going away with their dad, and they've not done this for quite a while. So I am going on my first holiday without my children, which is really, really strange. Especially when they're sort of away doing stuff and I don't know what they're doing, and I'm actually going away myself at the same time, and I'm doing that on purpose because for me, if I think I was at home, I would need to make sure I had other things, because it would leave quite a gap in my life. So some of us, quite a few of us, are in that situation where having your children going away on holiday is going to leave quite a gap in your life, isn't it, for a week or 2 weeks or however long they're away for. So when you've been working with clients who are in that situation, Rebecca, what tips do you give people in terms of kind of self-care around if their children are going away?
Yeah, it is an enormous issue, isn't it? And we hear this a lot about people who are anxious about their children going away and what they're actually going to do while the children are away, because they're used to the daily life of children being around, and then suddenly they're not there. So again, don't leave it to the last minute to think about what you're going to do. Don't allow all the stress leading up to it to mean that you've forgotten that actually you're going to have 1 or 2 weeks on your own now, and what are you going to do with it? So use this as an opportunity to find out something that you'd like to do for yourself. I'm sure when you've got your hectic lifestyles, there's friends you haven't seen for a while, places you'd like to go. Just have a little think before the children go about what you want to do, and maybe make a brief list of a few things you'd like to try out. There might be a new restaurant or something that's open in town. There might be a film you want to see. Check this out so that you've got things in your diary, and actively put them in the diary. Not just, oh, I might do this, I might do that, but have those dates in your diary. I was talking to a client yesterday, actually, and she was saying how difficult it was last year when her children went away. And she said, in a way, she was looking forward to having some quiet time, but the minute they went, she felt bereft, and she said she wished she had put something in her diary. So for this year, there's lots of things going in that diary. So
absolutely, yeah, I would agree with that.
So use it as an opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. Even if money is tight at the moment, and you can think at home of like a DIY job that you could get done within a week or two,
Oh,
and you think, oh, it might be moving one of the kids' rooms around. I've done that. I've built beds while they're away before. If I've had to, if perfect time, they're away, I'm going to take that bed down and build another one. So it could be something like that. But absolutely, as Rebecca said, it's probably getting the planet, just actively plan it. That's a really good idea.
that's the
Um,
thing. It doesn't need to be anything that costs a lot. Like we say, it could be a walk around the park, or
yeah,
just have coffee and a walk with a friend, anything like that. Things you just don't normally do because you're so busy with life.
yeah.
So just have something in the diary.
And do you think as well, Rebecca, it's good to understand that within that week or two, it's okay to probably feel a bit down, and that's going to be really understandable, because you are going to. It's probably being aware that you are going to have those feelings of loneliness because you've got this gap missing, and that's going to be absolutely natural and understandable. So not to worry, but it's fine, and you might just need to stick a film on one day, and that's okay.
That's right. You are going to feel like that, and that is normal, isn't it? It's the
Mm,
children are always there. You're going to miss them, and I think as well, Jessica, that's why it's important not just to plan things to do for yourself, but also to think about, this is a big thing for you personally, the children going away, but it's a big thing for them too, perhaps if it's the first year of separation and it's not something that they're used to. So how to manage their time away with their other parent, because there's going to need to be communication, and it's really like, how much communication should there be, Jess? I mean, in this situation.
yeah, that's a really interesting one, isn't it? I was sharing actually with Rebecca before we came on. Um, I think it was my first holiday that I took the children, and they were ringing home and speaking. Their dad wanted quite a bit of communication. Naturally, he's a great, a good dad, but we got to the point where I was thinking every day, oh, I think it's time to and we were just getting a bit panicky, and then the kids were in the middle of something, and then I was having to kind of go, oh, we need to ring you, and it was just getting a little bit stressful actually. And then what was happening, because it was the children's first separation, is when they heard their dad on the phone, they ended up coming off the call quite upset after every phone call. So then it was the next few hours sort of cuddling that it's okay, you'll be seeing daddy when we get home, and all those things, and that was quite difficult, I have to say. But then I think time obviously it naturally is going to be a bit more difficult on the first holiday, and that does get easier over time. But what I would say is, it's maybe planning, like we've said about planning your time, it's about possibly planning the types of communication as well, and understanding that communication, like Rebecca was just saying, is not just for you, it's for your children. So how much is going to be reasonable for them, and are they going to want to, because you'll want to know they're okay. So is it a text? Is it, if your children are teenagers, WhatsApping every now and again, quick voice messages? Is it, send me a couple of pictures every now and again, and just drop in and have a short chat every now and again? Or is it some kind of regular phone call? But it's that agreement and what's going to be best for both the children. And would you agree there might have to be an element of flexibility there, do you think, Rebecca?
Absolutely. I think, as you said, when you have a set time, it does make it very difficult. I mean, I have seen that over the years, where it's a fixed time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever. And with the best will in the world, it's really difficult to do, particularly when the children are out having fun and you're having to stop them doing what they're doing and say, come to the phone. Because particularly with younger children, it's really difficult to get them to speak on the phone anyway. So it just adds to the problems, and it can upset the children, exactly as you were saying. So I think both parties have to be really flexible here, appreciate each other's viewpoint, but most of all, it's about the children and the fact that they will want to speak to the parent who they're not with. But then it's about letting them enjoy the holiday, and realizing that that's what they're going for. And whether you have a text just to say, we've got here, that's fine. And have as much knowledge as you can about the holiday before they go, where it's going to be, what the hotel is. So you've got that safety net of knowing that you can get in touch with them if you really need to. and it just would make you feel a little bit better to have that. But go with the flow and just try and relax. And if you plan a call at 5 o'clock every third day or second day or whatever, it's not always going to happen, and then that can lead to disappointment and can lead to issues when the children come back, and make it difficult for the next holiday. So if you can, just try and be a bit flexible about that.
I think it's hard, but you almost have to put yourself in the shoes of both people. The one at home is going to want that contact because they're missing them, and the one on holiday is, you know, you've got to understand perhaps what it's like for the person at home. So for me, I was on holiday and I was thinking, oh no, we have to ring, you know, but then I can understand that he's going to want to speak and be missing the children. And it's just really a balance, and it is, communication is not the easiest, but if you've got kind of a rough plan that everybody's happy with, but also, like Rebecca says, there's going to be that flexibility there, because holidays as they are a bit more fluid than normal life, and things happen, and people have, you know, midday snoozes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's to have that flexibility there as well, I think. But that separation is interesting, and with the children. And what would you recommend? So I've heard and I was speaking to somebody who really did not like what was going on with their child on holiday. They'd been away with the ex and been doing stuff that they were like, I can't believe they were doing that on holiday. Do we have any say, do you think, Rebecca, in, you know, what the other half does with them on holiday, what the ex does with them on holiday?
Oh, tricky, isn't it, Jess? Because quite often you won't be happy about some of the things. It's not always on holiday, it's things that the other parent does anyway. And I think it's going back to what you said before, Jess. It's about communication and flexibility, isn't it? You can only control what you're doing, really. You can't control what somebody else does, and they often have a very different idea of parenting. And obviously, if it's dangerous or something, you know, then that's a different matter. But you have different ideas of parenting, and, you know, usually it might be something like, oh, he kept the children up too late, or she kept the children up too late, or something like that. But those are the things that you really, really can't control. So it's only going to stress you if you get very anxious about these kind of things. If the children are happy and they've had a good time on holiday, then try and let these things go, wouldn't you say, Jess? Because
yeah, absolutely. And I think in my own experience as well, it's just, especially when they come back and they're telling you things, it's just about being upbeat and enthusiastic about the things they've enjoyed. And you do really want to bite, and you really want to, you almost get a little bit triggered by the things that you kind of hear, and there's that, oh, they've been doing that, but you've got to try not to bite. And it's really going, oh, how lovely that you did that, that is fantastic, and that was really interesting, oh brilliant, you know. And it's just being upbeat about the things that they've enjoyed, because you don't want that. From my own experience, what I didn't want to happen to my children is that they're going to worry about going on holiday with either parent because of what the other parent reaction would be, you know, that would, you know, to put pressure on the children to kind of take that responsibility, was, from me, that was what I didn't want to happen. So it's hard, but you just try not to bite to the things that kind of go, oh really.
That's always going to happen. And it's whether you're on holiday, whether it's the contact weekend of the other parent, there's always going to be these things. You just plan things for yourself that you enjoy doing with the children, they enjoy doing, and you can't worry about it because you can't control it. And that's the thing, it's about managing what you can manage, really. Absolutely. Isn't it? And the children will see that you're relaxed and they take their lead, because you're their role model, aren't you, Jess? Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Well, I've really enjoyed this chat with you today. Yes. If we were to say some key tips I think the things we've probably come up with, if you agree, are about, if you're going on holiday, probably preparation is key in terms of preparing your children by talking to them in a positive way about the holiday, preparing those passports, but also preparing the time for yourself if you're not the one who's going on holiday. I think so, preparation. And then the second thing I think that we've talked about in terms of top tips is planning the communication. Would you say that's a couple of good tips for people to hold on to?
Yeah, it's being prepared in advance, isn't it, Jess? I think that's important. So you're not having these last minute discussions about passports or packing or where are you actually going. It's all in place, and then the children will just go seamlessly off on holiday without all the last minute stresses, which they'll be picking up from you. So prepare in advance, get all the information, but make sure you do something for yourself, even if it's just, that walk around the park with your best friend who you haven't seen for a while. Just something for you.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much today. I really hope this has helped anybody watching. And if you do have any further questions or anything you want us to answer, please do let us know in the comments, and we will get back to you. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks very much, Rebecca, today.
And happy holidays.